A week ago, if you asked an analyst about global markets, chances are there would have been a positive view. With strong jobs growth in the US, stock markets on the rise, it looked normal. Then over the weekend, Donald Trump put out a tweet and the global stock markets took a beating when they opened for trade this week. From Asia to Europe to Wall Street itself, no market was spared. Cut to the chase, Donald Trump said that the US will hike the tariff on 25% from 10% on Chinese goods worth a whopping $200 billion. Not just that, he also threatened to impose tariffs on all Chinese trade with the US. China's Shanghai index fell nearly 6%. Hang Seng index dropped by 3%. Europe did not fare much better either. The German and French bourses both traded with losses. Not even the Wall Street could pass the Trump test. Nasdaq, Dow Jones, S&P index, they were all in the red today. More than the tweet itself was the timing. China's Vice Premier Liu He was supposed to engage with US officials on trade talks on Wednesday, 2 days from now. There were reports that the two economies were arriving at some sort of a truce. Now it is back to square one. Reports say that China may back out of the trade talks after Donald Trump's threats. Just a few days ago, Trump painted a positive picture.
But the deal itself is going along pretty well. I would even say very well. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But we're getting close to a very historic, monumental deal. And if it doesn't happen, we'll be fine, too, maybe even better.
And then this. Donald Trump has always been a high tariff man, and China was in fact paying the tariffs. So what would Trump's decision to hike a tariff do? More than 5,000 Chinese products will be affected due to the hike in tariffs. From fresh and frozen food to chemicals to electronic goods, every Chinese product will face the heat. China is determined to work out a deal. A trade war with the US will bleed the Chinese economy. Despite reports from state-run newspapers which vowed retaliation to the US, the Xi Jinping government seems committed to playing the waiting game with Donald Trump. China has not even ruled out the vice president's visit.
国际社会有很多的评论，我们也正在了解相关的情况。我这里可以告诉你的是，中方团队正在准备赴美磋商。
No one is sure what Donald Trump is aiming at with this offensive. But there is good reason for every major economy to keep a close eye on the US since January 2018. Donald Trump has imposed tariffs on China, Chinese tariffs on the US, and was prepared to face retaliatory measures. Goldman Sachs says that Trump's statements are a mere warning. There may well be a truce between two of the largest economies in the world soon. But not all investors are hopeful. Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, has warned that a prolonged spat between the US and China will be disastrous for the global economy. Trump's stance could also be a way to tell the world that the US is still in the driver's seat when it comes to negotiations with China. Donald Trump has made all efforts to prevent allies from using Huawei in 5G networks. He has now imposed fresh sanctions. He may think that it is par for the course. He has done it in the past. Threats, tweets, a combination of both. That is his favorite way to get countries to toe his line. Be it North Korea or the European Union or China or even India, contradictory statements are commonplace in Donald Trump's dictionary of diplomacy. This could be another. India and the EU need to watch out because Donald Trump turned his attention to EU and India after he imposed tariffs on China the last time around. Global growth is slowing recovery from recession, but the central banks around the world have still not completely recovered. Add to it the US-China trade tussle, the immediate future of global economy in general, and global markets in particular looks dicey. This week has started on a turbulent note. Expect more volatility in the coming days.